The year is 1177. For a decade, the Middle East has tilted toward one name, Salah ad-Din. His armies do not just march, they consolidate, they correct, they consume. One by one, the Islamic emirates fall in behind him. Damascus, Aleppo, Hama, Homs, Cairo. Each bows to his banner, and with every step forward, the distance between Islam and Jerusalem shrinks. He is not merely a sultan, he is a symbol. To his soldiers, he is divinely guided. To his enemies, he is inevitable. And now, he is advancing west with speed, precision, and a promise he has made time and time again: Jerusalem will fall. If it does, the Crusader kingdoms collapse. The Latin lords, weakened by distance, divided by greed, will fracture beyond repair. The ports will fail. The sea routes to Rome will slow. The church's grip on the Holy Land will wither like a candle held too long to flame. And the city where Christ walked, where heaven kissed stone, will change hands once more. Now, Saladin's scouts gallop along the coast. His commanders prepare for swift conquest, not siege. The strategy is simple. Strike before winter, crush the isolated kingdom of Jerusalem, and erase the Frankish presence from the land. The world is already adjusting to the loss. But in the wind-scoured plains between Ramla and Mont Gizard, something waits. Not a fortress, not a miracle. A man. A king strapped into a saddle because his fingers no longer feel leather. A boy whose limbs betray him, but whose mind has become a weapon. A body gripped by leprosy, a will gripped by something stronger. Baldwin IV. The Leper King. This is not the story of how disease ended a dynasty. It is the story of how defiance became strategy. How a child who could not feel pain taught the world a new measure of strength. How Saladin, the most feared Muslim general of the age, met something even more immovable than the walls of Jerusalem. One king, one weapon, one battlefield, and the charge that cracked the myth of invincibility. To understand what will happen at Montgizard, we must go back. Back to when the boy first stopped feeling anything at all. The year is 1161. In a cool stone chamber in Jerusalem's royal quarter, a prince plays under the eyes of tutors and servants. His name is Baldwin. He is clever, unruly, pale with sharp eyes, and a strong chin. Features his nurses say he inherited from his mother. He rides a wooden horse through the corridors. He learns scripture in the morning, swordplay in the afternoon. Then one day, during a squabble with his cousins, he's bitten on the arm. Hard, deep enough to draw blood. He does not flinch, he does not cry, he does not even notice. A court physician is summoned. He presses a pin to the boy's hands. No reaction. He slices lightly across the forearm. No response. A second opinion is called, then a third. The verdict arrives like thunder in a dry valley. Leprosy, a disease both spiritual and physical, a curse in the eyes of some, a death sentence in the eyes of many more. Word spreads through the palace like oil on silk. The boy is not cursed, they whisper. He is afflicted. He should be removed from succession for his own dignity. He should be cloistered, forgotten, buried in protocol and prayer. But Baldwin is not buried. He is crowned. At age 13, following his father's death, Baldwin ascends the throne of Jerusalem. His skin is pale, his joints stiffening. Beneath royal robes, his body betrays him more with each passing month. But where skin withers, will hardens. He refuses to be invisible. He trains harder, reads longer. Where other boys master the sword, Baldwin learns how to hold it with numb fingers and bleeding palms. He wears gloves to hide the lesions. He ties his hands to his reins so he does not drop them in battle. He learns not to flinch, not from pain, but from pity. The barons whisper in shadows. A leper cannot rule. A king must be whole. But Baldwin has allies. Raymond of Tripoli, the Patriarch of Jerusalem, and most powerful of all, the Knights of the Holy Orders. Among them, he finds his secret weapon, the Hospitallers. While Baldwin reigns under strain and sickness, Saladin's star rises. Yusuf ibn Ayyub, son of a Kurdish commander, first emerges in the court of Nur al-Din, emir of Damascus. At first, he is not feared. He is polite, bookish, cautious. But beneath the courtesy, something coils. A mind sharp with calculation, a faith unshaken. When he takes control of Egypt, it is seen as political maneuvering. When he unites Egypt and Syria, it becomes clear. He is building a machine. His vision is not just military, it is religious. Islam must reclaim Jerusalem. The Crusaders must be expelled. This is not politics. This is prophecy. His empire grows not with plunder, but with permanence. And in 1177, with Baldwin weakened, Saladin sees his moment. He assembles a fast, mobile army. He will strike before the Franks can gather. He will move with fewer men, but more speed. Jerusalem will fall before Christmas. He believes his victory ordained. But Baldwin has prepared for this moment his entire life. He summons every available knight. He orders his elite cavalry, the Hospitallers, to drill not for defense, but for shock assault. These are not knights in shining armor. They are iron walls on horseback. Disciplined, silent, forged in repetition. They train in heat and dust, lances honed to shatter ribs. They are not waiting behind walls. They are preparing to move. And Baldwin, though racked by disease, rides with them. His limbs ache. His face bleeds beneath bandages. But he rides. Not because he is whole, because his kingdom is. Saladin moves with confidence. He crosses into Crusader territory with ease. His scouts report a scattered defense, a sick king, a half army, a people already preparing for loss. He does not know that Baldwin has drawn him into the open. He does not know that the plains near Mont Guissard have been studied like scripture. He does not know that waiting behind sparse trees and dry ravines is a wedge of cavalry trained to break men twice their number. He rides with prophecy, but prophecy will meet preparation. The people of Jerusalem wait. Church bells ring in daylight. Candles burn in windows, even at noon. The Holy Cross is paraded in silence. Everyone knows, if this fails, there will be no more kings, no more marches, no more Crusader states. But Baldwin does not plan to fail. He straps his legs into the saddle. He grips the relic of the true cross with gloved hands. He whispers no prayers, only orders. He knows what Saladin does not. The charge of the Iron Men is ready, and it will decide everything. To understand how it came to this, how the child who felt nothing became the last wall before extinction, we must step back to when he was only a boy, to when the empire was still rising, to when strategy, steel, and suffering were being sharpened for this 1 hour. This is where the Leper King's legend begins. The wind rises before dawn, carrying dust from the Judean hills and the scent of sun-scorched stone. It moves across Ramla, through the palm groves, and onto the plains where two fates gallop toward collision. Saladin is already in motion. He rides not with the full weight of his empire, but with a swift vanguard, around 26,000 mounted warriors. His intent is not siege, but shock. The Crusader kingdom is isolated. European reinforcements are months away. The king, if rumors are true, is half dead. Now is the moment. The Sultan of Cairo and Damascus will claim Jerusalem in a single blow. His emirs say it can be done. His scouts confirm what he wants to hear. Baldwin is sick, the Franks scattered, the kingdom exposed. But information, like terrain, can deceive. Miles away, King Baldwin IV prepares not behind castle walls, but beneath a canopy of canvas and heat. He has summoned every knight from the southern marches and every hospitaller from the strongholds in the hills. His army numbers fewer than 15,000. He knows he is outnumbered, outflanked, and one mistake from annihilation. Still, he rides. He straps his twisted hands to the reins. He binds the true cross to a pole and orders it mounted at the heart of the march. He says nothing of sickness. His captains already know. By midday, Baldwin's force begins its movement northward, toward the coast road near Montgisard. He does not intend to defend a city. He intends to set a trap. It is a strange kind of warfare. One side believes the enemy is broken. The other side is counting on it. The desert, which offers no shelter, will become the field of decision. They march under unbearable heat. Water grows scarce, armor chafes skin raw. Still, no one turns back. Among the ranks of the Hospitallers, grim silence replaces fatigue. These men are trained not just to fight, but to endure, conditioned to hold formation under starvation, to charge with shattered ribs, to obey without question. They are Baldwin's blade. He has not unsheathed them yet. Saladin's army advances toward Ramla, where he expects resistance to crumble. He moves confidently, his officers relaxed, his scouts careless. The Franks have never faced him in the open, not since Hattin. They always hide behind walls or wait for European ships. Now, he believes, they are broken before the first sword is drawn. He is wrong. By the second day, Saladin's column is overextended. The main force is separated from its supply wagons. Horses grow restless. Water is limited. Still, there is no sign of a serious Christian army. The Sultan believes victory is assured. He allows his men to rest under olive trees and assumes the Franks will only fight once they are cornered. But Baldwin has not marched north to be cornered. He has chosen Montgisard precisely because of what it offers. Scrub-covered ridges on both flanks, high enough to conceal cavalry. A narrow corridor that forces Saladin's vanguard to bunch. And dry, cracked soil that masks movement until the final gallop. As Baldwin's army approaches the area, he orders a halt at a slight elevation. He rides the line on a white horse, his face veiled to hide the lesions, his eyes hollowed by fatigue but burning with clarity. A young squire offers him water. Baldwin shakes his head. "We hold here," he says. "We strike only when he believes we cannot." To his commanders, he lays out the trap. The Hospitallers will remain hidden among the hills. The central infantry will form a shallow crescent, baiting Saladin into a head-on charge. Baldwin himself will lead the center, visible, vulnerable, and necessary. When the Muslim forces commit, the Hospitallers will charge downhill into their flanks. Simple in design, devastating in execution, if it works. Night falls. The Crusader camp is quiet. No campfires are lit. No banners fly. The men sleep beside their horses, weapons wrapped in oiled cloth. The scent of prayer mixes with the sting of salt and blood. Some whisper confessions to sleeping priests. Some kiss the crosses hung from their necks. Some say nothing. They know what tomorrow is. In Saladin's camp, confidence breeds celebration. Music drifts from tents. Soldiers roast meat over flames. The Sultan is calm, certain. His map shows no threats. His scouts report no surprises. His men believe this will be another Ramla, another Gaza, another victory to adorn his legend. They do not know that the king they thought was dying is only hours away and moving. Just before dawn, Baldwin kneels before the true cross. His breathing is shallow. His legs are wrapped in linen, the joints swollen beyond recognition. He cannot feel his left hand, but his voice remains. He speaks not of glory, He says only this: when the horn sounds, ride like death. Do not look to me. Look to the enemy's rear. Do not stop until they break. Then he mounts his horse. A knight hoists the true cross, and they begin the final march. By late morning, Saladin's vanguard enters the valley. Dust rises from hooves. His troops are stretched in a long column, winding through the terrain like a serpent made of steel and sun. From the hills, the Hospitallers watch silently. Baldwin's infantry appears in the open, a fragile line of tired men beneath the banner of Jerusalem. No fortifications, no reinforcements, no reserve, just a king with a crippled body, standing at the head of an army that should not exist. Saladin sees weakness. He orders the charge. Trumpets sound. Arrows darken the sky. Muslim cavalry thunder forward. Baldwin raises his sword. Hold. The infantry braces for impact. Shields rattle. Men murmur prayers. Horses scream as they close in. Then, at the moment when all seems about to collapse, the hills explode with motion. Iron floods from the ridges, lances glint in the sun. The Hospitallers charge, not at the front, but at the flanks. Downhill, full gallop, tight formation, hooves smashing earth, steel on wind, they strike like a thunderclap. Saladin's column shudders. Commanders are cut down before they can issue orders. Formations break, horses rear, panic spreads. Baldwin rides forward, shouting for his knights to advance. The Franks crash into the center as the Hospitallers slice through the sides. Encirclement becomes collapse. Saladin's officers try to regroup, but the narrow terrain betrays them. There's no room to maneuver, no space to retreat. The invincible army is being cut apart. The Sultan himself is nearly unhorsed. He barely escapes, fleeing with a handful of guards. His vanguard disintegrates. By afternoon, the valley is carpeted in bodies. Man and horse, friend and foe, all buried under the same sky. Montgisard becomes a graveyard of overconfidence. Baldwin dismounts at the edge of the field. His legs buckle. A knight catches him. His lips are cracked, his breath shallow. But he stands. Behind him, men cheer. Ahead, the banners of Saladin's army fall one by one. The Leper King has done the unthinkable. He has shattered the myth of Saladin's invincibility. He has bought time. He has made history. And he is not finished. The desert was not silent after the battle. It groaned. The earth outside Montgisard lay broken beneath thousands of bodies. Steel twisted into bone, banners ripped to shreds. Horses collapsed mid-gallop with arrows still buried in their necks. The sun, unfeeling, burned over the dead and the dying alike, casting long shadows that stretched like judgment over the valley floor. And at the center of it all, barely upright, bleeding beneath the silk that masked his face, was the Leper King. Baldwin IV's armor was dented and blistered from heat. His sword, notched from striking bone and mail, hung from a half-numb hand. Dust mixed with the lesions on his skin, and one of his attendants said later that he looked more like a ghost than a victor. But he stood, because that was what mattered. The Battle of Montgisard was over. Saladin had fled, the Iron Men had held, and Jerusalem, for now, had survived. In the moments after the final charge, Baldwin could barely speak. His lips cracked, his breath shallow. But as the Hospitallers regrouped, he raised one trembling hand toward the true cross and whispered the words they'd waited to hear all day. Deus vult. The valley erupted in ragged cheers. Crusaders wept openly. Hardened knights collapsed in exhaustion. Some cried for loved ones who hadn't made it. Some simply dropped to their knees and whispered prayers of stunned relief. They had no right to win, but they had. The iron wedge had torn through Saladin's elite like a scythe through wheat. The Muslim forces, packed too tightly in the pass, had no space to retreat. What had begun as a sure victory turned into a rout. Chronicles say only a fraction of Saladin's men escaped alive, many drowning in the swamps or cut down as they fled. Saladin himself, pursued on horseback, barely made it to the Egyptian frontier with his life. The myth of his invincibility had been shattered. Word traveled fast. In Jerusalem, messengers arrived by nightfall. Priests rang bells through the streets before sunrise. The city lit candles in every chapel, every corridor. Children were woken by the sound of chants echoing across stone walls. The king lives. The Franks have won. God is with us. The leper king, whom so many had pitied and dismissed, had done what no one expected. He had defied the greatest Muslim general of the century and won in open battle. And not behind the safety of walls, but on the open plain, in a confrontation Saladin himself had chosen. In the days that followed, men began to speak of Baldwin differently, no longer as a tragedy, no longer as a cursed boy, but as a sign, a holy weapon wrapped in decaying flesh, a king whose body was dying, but whose will was forged like Damascus steel. Some said it was the relic of the true cross that had saved them. Others said it was the Hospitaller charge. But those who stood on the field knew none of it would have happened without Baldwin. In Cairo, Saladin did not speak of Montgisard for weeks. He withdrew from public view, tending to internal rebellions stirred by the disgrace. For the first time since rising to power, he was questioned. Letters were intercepted, loyalty shaken. He responded by reorganizing. By the following spring, he had rebuilt much of his strength. But something had shifted. He had seen the edge of his limits, and the edge had worn a crown. Baldwin did not rest for long. Despite the agony in his joints, the open sores on his face, and the creeping numbness in his hands and feet, he spent the winter visiting outposts, inspecting defenses, and meeting emissaries. He made no victory parade. He ordered no new statues. He issued one command instead: build again. He knew the war was not over. Saladin would return, next time stronger, next time with a lesson learned. But Baldwin also knew something had changed. Europe had taken notice. For years, the Crusader states had been dismissed, dying embers of a forgotten fire. But now, after Montgisard, new pledges arrived: gold, ships, arms, and most importantly, men. Montgisard had bought what Jerusalem needed most: time. Not all victories come without cost. Baldwin's body, already ravaged by leprosy, had paid dearly. After the battle, his eyesight began to fade in one eye. Lesions spread along his spine. The doctors whispered that he might not live to see 25. But his mind was sharper than ever. He reorganized the court, rooted out corrupt nobles, rebalanced trade with the Italian ports. He even planned for succession, knowing he would not sit the throne forever. What he had built with flesh, he would secure in stone and oath. And through it all, the story of Montgisard spread. Across Christendom, bards sang of the boy who rode with his hands tied to the reins. Pilgrims touched the earth where the Hospitallers had charged, hoping to be healed. Soldiers kissed their swords and whispered, "Baldwin," before battle. The leper king had become legend while still alive. Years later, a scribe asked one of the Hospitallers who had ridden in the final charge what it felt like to follow a dying man into hell. The knight answered simply, "We did not follow a dying man. We followed a king who refused to die." That charge, down a ridge outside a town no one had heard of, reshaped a war. It showed that unity of purpose could defeat numbers, that courage without arrogance could fracture even the most organized foe. That sickness does not always mean weakness. That pain is not always loss. And that sometimes a kingdom survives not because of the size of its walls, but because of the will of one man inside them. Baldwin would go on to rule for another decade. He would fight more battles, negotiate more treaties, face more betrayals. But Montgisard remained his firebrand, his declaration that destiny was not fixed. In time, Saladin would return, and one day, Jerusalem would fall. But not while Baldwin reigned. He had proven what mattered, that no conqueror, no prophecy, no death sentence written on the skin of a child was ever final. Only choices, only will, only the charge. And for one afternoon in 1177, that was enough. Enough to stop the inevitable, enough to defy a sultan, enough to buy the world one more breath. If this story moved you, share it. Let others hear what the history books forget. Like, comment, and subscribe to follow the men who bled, the kings who defied, and the forgotten battles that bought us time. There are more legends waiting. Don't miss them.